Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to the week 3 video session. Students, first of all, we have to see what's the basic, we can say, objective of this week. Now, this one is the third week, and what's the basic objective of this week and what we have to cover for this lecture. This one is about, this lecture is about public speaking and turn taking. Generally, from speaking point of view, you know very well, but our you can say number of lectures are on communication and types and process and importance, and there are different concepts related to communication. So speaking is again very important factor when we are talking about communication and turn taking. So what are the objectives first we have to see that we have to cover in this session? That can be the outline that we have to cover in this, you can say, week 3 session. Okay, to understand the concept of public speaking, in which we have to see what are the 7 elements of the public speaking. This is what we have to discuss. What are the 7 elements and what's the concept of public speaking? To understand the concept of turn taking and 7 turn taking strategies to enhance the speaking time again. So this is what again we have to see. Now, next session, our next thing that we have to cover is that is about, we can say, what is speaking. Now, move toward the, you can say, content of this session. Now, what is speaking? What's the concept? You know very well, generally, आप लोगों को idea होगा. Speaking is an interactive process of constructing the meaning that involves producing and receiving and processing the information. So it involves producing, receiving, and processing the information when we are talking about speaking as an interactive process. So we have to produce constructive words or whatever we want to say and receive and process the information. So this one is about, we can say, formal and informal way of speaking. So this is the definition and concept of. Now what's the objective of speaking? That can be, we can say, like have a conversation. These are the objective. This one is the basic purpose, and present the ideas clearly and being understood. So again, we want to present the idea very clearly, and it has to be very clear and understandable for everyone. Use the appropriate language, again, very important thing, and being confident and improving the fluency. So these are the major objectives that we have to cover, that we have to know, or for what reason we have to implement or use that speaking strategy. Okay, now, what will be the speaking, public speaking as an interactive communication? Generally, it's just like your communication process, like start from the, because speaker is the basic person, you can say that can be the source or the audience, sorry, that can be the sender or the receiver, whatever. So speaker is the person who has to speak something, who has to send some specific data, encode the data through channel. You have to send the context message, or you can say whatever the message or whatever the word or whatever communication, conversation, whatever you want to convey. So that can be the message, and through the context and noise, these are the different factors like that affect a lot noise throughout the, यू कैन से पिछले लेक्चर में, फर्स्ट लेक्चर में हमने ये सारी चीज़ें काफ़ी डिटेल में डिस्कस की थी. Then receiver is the person who has to receive the message. Speaker is who has to send the message. Just like right now, I am the speaker who has to send the message, and receiver is the audience. Are you people are right now the audience, and you have to receive the decode the message as per your requirement. Then again encode through different channel and get the feedback from the receiver, and that feedback will be sent to the speaker, and speaker will receive the feedback or get the response from the receiver, and so on. So this one is about, this is how you can achieve your objective, and you can share the meaning. You can say, you have to understand what do you want to say. So again, this one is the overall communication process, and that we are used to of, ये हमने काफी डिटेल में इसको डिस्कस किया है. Okay, now what are the 7 elements of speaking strategy, or you can say speech communication process? Now, what are the 7 elements of speech communication process? So first of all, we have to see that can be first one is about speaker, then message, then channel, and then listener. So that is the third one, listener. And then next one. So next one is about listener and channel, listener, and next one is about feedback, then interference, and then situation. So these are the seven elements of we can say speech communication process, our speaking strategy. And this is what right now we have to study one by one. We have to find out what we have to do from speaker, message and all that. Generally students ये सब आपने communication process के अंदर काफी डिटेल सॉरी चैप्टर 1 में भी देखे हुए हैं. आगे हम इनको चैप्टर 4 में भी अप टू सम एक्सटेंट डिस्कस करते हैं. So this is what we have to see right now. Okay, now what's the speaking strategy? First of all, we have to see, and then we have to move onward from seven elements of speaking strategies. Okay, now when we are talking about speaking strategy, what we have to do? सबसे पहले हमें सेल्फ असेसमेंट करनी चाहिए. We have to analyze ourselves. So self assessment strategy when speaking. So first of all, we have to observe the partner. Does he or she understand me? And is partner, your partner has to ask the question, and then you have to record yourself, right? So it's just like जैसे आपकी speaking strategy is just like जैसे हम presentation के लिए आपको guideline देते हैं और कहते हैं कि the way you have to speak in front of your class or audience. So this one is about self assessment strategy. So use an outline, never write down each and everything on the paper and just like you have to read out each and everything. So you have to make the outline, you have to make the points, and on the basis of points, then you have to, you can say, discuss that point in detail. Then you have to give the examples. So check the list, whatever you have done or whatever you have made. जो भी आपने checklist बनाई है उसको accordingly you have to see and then compare with other speakers, right? So this one is the self assessment. आप generally it's a simple way, just like जैसे आप self talk और उसकी बात की हमने first lecture के point of view से, मिरर के आगे जब आप खड़े होके अपनी प्रैक्टिस सेशन करते हो सेल्फ असेसमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्पीकिंग स्ट्रेटजी, सो दैट इज अनदर वे. सो उसमें जब आप स्पीकिंग स्ट्रेटजी को इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं तो दैट इज अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग कि उसमें अगेन व्हाट यू हैव टू सी, आपके पास पॉइंट्स होने चाहिए. आपको इफ यू वांट टू मेमोराइज कर लें उसको एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे देन यू हैव टू कंपेयर. अगर कोई साथ इंडिविजुअल यही प्रैक्टिस सेशन कर रहा है आप उसको कंपेयर करें, या एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जब प्रेजेंटेशन हो रही होती है यू हैव टू कंपेयर योर सेल्फ विद अनदर वन. So this one is the way through which you can assess yourself or your speaking, you can say speaking communication process. So what's the level of your speaking communication? Okay, now speakers. Now what's the, you can say, basic concept of speaker is the person who has to speak, who has to send the data. Speech communication begin with the speaker. Your success as a speaker depend on you and your personal credibility, your knowledge of the subject, your preparation of the speech, your manner of the speaking, and your sensitivity to the audience and the opinion. So these are the basic important factor, like being a speaker, your personality, your credibility, the way you are talking to someone, the way you are delivering the message, our knowledge, and whether you have prepared your speech. Do you know about the purpose of speech? Do you know how you have to convey the message? Do you know at the end of the day, you know very well, very important thing is, do you know about your target audience to whom you are speaking? So these are the important factors on the basis of which we can say when we are talking about good communicator. So good communicator and speaker की same qualities हैं. Okay, now next one is again very important thing, that is message. स्टूडेंट्स आई थिंक सो ये वो वाली चीज़ें हैं, ये वो वाले कंटेंट हैं जो हमने बार बार पहले भी डिस्कस किए हैं क्लास के अंदर भी, पिछले लेक्चर्स में भी, और आगे भी हम करते रहेंगे. तो वेरी क्विकली वी हैव टू टेक द रिव्यू. Now messages we have to discuss in the next you can say session. Till this session, thank you so much. Next हम फिर next वाले session में करते हैं. Thank you students.